Hey Team DSF, this is your girl Tanaya-Marcia Silhouette, and I am doing our Team DSF weekly business training. This training this week is going to be pretty simple, and it's really, well, it's usually just a conversation, right? A one-way conversation. But feel free to comment below while I'm talking, and I can address whatever you have to say as I'm speaking. So I'll be looking for the comments if you have anything you want to add or just any kind of feedback. But this week I want to discuss like something that I always have to remind myself as an entrepreneur, and when I'm learning about things, and in this case learning about the business and trying to figure out what works for me, but also what is proven. Trying to take what I've learned from my mentors and actually apply it to my business and my life. What I mean by that is, okay, you made the decision to build your business, right? You invested your money into it. You got your training materials. You're trying to follow the system, and you're trying to figure out a way to do the business, right? And a lot of the times when we are figuring out how to do the business, even following the plans that our mentors set out for us, how do we actually apply that to our own lives? And when we're learning that, we might end up overcomplicating things. I've done this a lot because I'm that type of personality where, I have to have paperwork, and I gotta, like write down a plan on paper and then get really structured with it. And sometimes, because structure keeps me focused, but sometimes in the process of me doing that, I tend to overcomplicate my business. So usually when that happens, you become overwhelmed, and then you stop doing it. Especially if you're doing that and you don't get results, you might get frustrated, and then you're thinking about life happens, and you just stop altogether because you're like, oh, this is not working. I thought I was doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm not getting results. And now you just stop doing the business, and then months go by, you don't make any money, and then you might end up quitting. So one of the things that I want to stress tonight is to remind you of some ways that you can actually make this easy for you. I say make it easy. Building a business is not easy in itself. It's simple because, you're not the first entrepreneur ever in the world. So it is a simple thing. Once you figure out what you need to build your business, it's simple, but it's not easy. But you can make it as easy as possible for you if you remember certain things. What I've learned is, okay, in network marketing, we have a system. You have to follow the system, right? So once you have decided you are going to follow the system, now you have to figure out a way to incorporate that system into your actual daily routine. Not what you think is going to happen, not what you plan on doing. You actually have to sit down, look at yourself in the mirror, and plan a realistic way to incorporate whatever your system is for your business into your daily routine. That is a daily thing. Some days you're going to be successful, some days you're not. Some days you're going to do everything that you're supposed to do and not see results that day, but you might see results down the line. So how can I realistically incorporate my company's system into my business so I can be successful? Knowing that I might not see results today, but I'm planting those seeds and putting the work, doing the work today so that I can see results later, right? How do I do that? Well, for us, like I said, we have a system. It's called the Proven Plan. And basically with our company and how we do our system is we go through steps 1, 2, and 3. You hear me talk about it a lot. Steps 1, 2, and 3, the CTE, connect to an event, right? You got to have a certain amount of exposures. How many new people have you shared your business opportunity with today, right? So our rule in our company is 2 new exposures per day, right? And then how many presentations do you do every month? That presentations means getting those exposures to an event, getting them to a third party who can validate everything that you told them in step 1, which is when you shared the business, and what they seen in step 2, which was the tool you provided to explain what the opportunity is. How many of those people did you get to an event where someone else is sharing everything with them, answering their questions, and really getting them all the information they need to make a decision. Our rule is you want to get out of those 60 people a month, those 2 a days, you want to get at least 15 or more to a third party, to an event every month. 15 or more. That's the minimum. So connect to event 1, 2, 3. That's the system, right? Also, part of what we are supposed to be doing is we are supposed to be training ourselves. We are supposed to be attending events ourselves so that we can receive training from our mentors. We also attend events so we can network with other business people like us so that we can learn, collaborate, and, get those tips that you can get from them, and basically show our new business partners that are just coming on the culture of our business, to establish a rapport with other business partners and get that support. That's part of our business that's required. And if you go in any industry, you're gonna see that everybody in every industry has those networking events or those conventions or those trainings, those on-site trainings that are required for them to be successful. If you're not doing that in any industry, traditional business, network marketing, or whatever, you will not be successful, because you're not going to just learn from the internet. You're not just going to learn from your house or yourself. You don't know everything. You're new to this. And the only way you're going to be able to grow is to get a mentor and to be out there where they're at, doing what they're doing and learning from them. That way you don't repeat the same mistakes that they've made, So you have to get out there. Also, you should be, out in the world anyway, as doing your daily activities, because that's how you meet new people and build your database. And that those people that you bring into your database are they're potential prospects. They might be business partners down the line, So once again, if you're an entrepreneur and you are trying to make money and you have a product or a service that you're trying to provide to the masses, you need to be where the masses are, or else you're not going to be able to sell anything. Right? How are you going to sell? What, are you going to go on Facebook and think you're going to post a link and everybody's going to go on there and buy it? Why are they going to buy it from you? They don't even know what it is, and they don't even know who you are. Why are they going to buy from you when you're not even established yet? We don't even know if you're a legit company. You got to go out and build relationships and meet people. Those are your customers and your future business partners. So those are some of the things that we do. Also, part of our system is you have to be a product of the product. If you have a product or service that you are selling, you need to be consuming or using that product or service, because you are the first person who is the brand. You are the brand. You're the first person that your customer or future business partner is going to see. And they're going to say, if you got a skincare line, are you using it? If you have energy drink or whatever, are you drinking it? If you have a service that you provide, are you using that service? If not, why? Why would I buy it if you're not doing it? You're not using it. If you as an individual consumer are not even using your products or services, then why do you think somebody else would, right? So you got to be a product of the product. And with that also being said, in network marketing, usually you need to have a certain amount of money that you consume from your business. So if you are a product of the product, it's easy for you to meet that requirement, because you can purchase the products from your own business, which helps you to maintain your overhead, right, out of your own pocket, and then the rest of the money that comes into your business is from your customers and other business partners, etc. If you're in network marketing, you understand what I'm saying. If you're not doing those things, then when you get new business partners, they're not going to do the same thing either. Okay, well, I hear you say, oh, you need to get your prospects to events. I agree. And that's something that we all have to work on a regular basis. Just because you brought them last week doesn't mean you're done forever. If you're not yet where you need to be, right, you got to keep doing that, right? So I agree with you. I need to get more prospects to events as well. So that's the other thing. If you are or you are wanting to be a leader in your company, you need to be at events and also getting prospects to events. And you also need to host events. If there's no events in your area, then create one. If there are events in your area, create one anyway. Create another one. Have something so that you have something to invite people to. Okay, you need to bring people to other people's events, right? So they can be your third party. But you also need to host your own events so that your new business partners have something to invite their prospects to. If you're a leader in this company and you have business partners that are relying on you, you need to host events so that they can bring their prospects to your event and you can be their third party. And then you need to continue to go to other people's events and support them and be a third party for them. That's how this works. You got to support each other and build your team together. Okay, you can't do this by yourself, not in network marketing at least. Okay, that's not going to work. So that's something that we all need to do. And as a leader in this company, you need to get comfortable with standing in front of the room and presenting. You might not be hosting that event. Maybe your new business partner is hosting an event. You need to present for them. Once again, I said be a third party. Stand in front of the room, tell your story, and get those people to a decision, okay? That's leadership in network marketing. You need to learn how to do that. And if you're not comfortable doing that, then the only way to get comfortable is to just do it. And if you mess up, that's okay. You have a whole bunch of extra events you can do later to figure it out. And then reach out to your mentors and say, hey, give me some positive feedback. What do I need to work on when I'm speaking in front of the room? Yada, yada, yada. Make sure you're hitting those key points and you're sticking to the system even when you're presenting. There's a lot of tools that we have in place to help you learn how to present. That's why we rely on our videos and, other tools while we're presenting. The only thing you should really be saying out of your mouth is your why. If you want to show something about the product, show a video. Okay? That's what the video's for. We have them all, they're free. Okay, so how do I realistically apply all of this to my actual routine? That was the point of this training, right? We said we got to do all these things, right? And I didn't mention the other things that we got to do, which is like, reading inspirational things daily, staying positive, don't consume negativity, because when you're sharing a business opportunity with somebody, you don't want to be in a negative mindset. So those are also things that we need to do. And once again, learning on your own, growing as an individual, as a professional, doing those things that help you grow, whether that's, be in touch with your spiritual side or just, listening to something motivating, positive music or whatever. Don't ever share business with somebody when you're not in a good mood, because it's not going to go over well. I've done it. It didn't work. Didn't mean anything. It was a waste of time for both of us. So how do I apply all of these things, all of these daily actions that I'm supposed to be doing? How do I actually do that in real life, right? Like I say I'm going to do it, but how am I doing it? Well, think about your routine. There's two ways you got to do this, and you got to do both, okay? You got to formally sit down and set your business hours, okay? This is not a hobby. This is a business, whether it's part-time, full-time, whatever. It is a real business. You have to sit down and write out your schedule. I recommend a weekly schedule. So for the week, these are my actual business hours where I'm going to do specific things, where I'm going to actually dedicate time to doing specific things, right? So I'm going to take from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to, expose the business opportunity to 2 new people. Like I'm going to set my time to do that and just that, sit in my office and do that. And I'm already going to have those people written down on a list of all the people that I'm going to share for the month, right? So I'm going to take that first 2, right? And that's going to be for that day. That's setting business hours. Then I'm going to set my business hours for every Sunday night. This is real. Every Sunday night from 7:30 to 8, I'm doing my weekly training. This weekly training is to train my new business partners on how to do the business. I'm going to set my business hours and dedicate that time to them. And then from 8 o'clock until 9:30, I'm going to get on 3 training calls that my mentors are going to give me, because I need to learn myself. So I'm training my new team, right? I'm training my team that I'm responsible for. Even though I'm not their boss, I'm responsible for them because I brought them into the business. So I'm getting them trained, right? Doing my training. But then the people that brought me in need to train me. And so they have weekly calls that I need to get on. And I need to make sure my schedule is clear for that. And if my schedule's not clear, if I'm at a fashion show or I'm doing something else or whatever, guess what? I'm still on the calls. If I'm not walking the runway at 8 o'clock, I am on the phone, standing in line, getting ready to walk the runway, listening to my mentor, who is a multimillionaire, give me free advice on how to build my business. And then when it's time for me to get on the runway, I'll put my phone down real quick, walk the runway, get off the runway, and come back to my phone call. Because I am a professional and I am not going to miss out on anything that my mentor, who is where I want to be, is telling me, unless I'm like on an airplane or something. And even then, I try my best to plan my travel around my weekly training because Sunday nights are extremely important to my business. So I try to be as free as possible or multitask and still actively listen to my mentors. And that's what you need to do. Figure out your priorities and make it happen. And then, throughout the week, once again, you're setting those business hours for those exposures. You need to set business hours for when you got to do whatever paperwork you got to do for your business, like how often you log your mileage or whatever for your taxes. Figure out a good time when you're not actively exposing the business where you could like take an hour or two and track that and get the paperwork done and then be done with it. And then when are you doing your professional development? My mentors recommend do that late at night in the evening when you can't talk to people, when it's like inappropriate because it's like sleep hours. If you're awake, take a little hour before you go to bed and read a nice book. Read something inspirational or whatever, or do it like early in the morning when you first wake up. I know a lot of people read their religious text in the morning when they wake up and they pray and stuff like that. Use that time to get your mind right for the day, whatever works for you. And depending on if you have a 9 to 5 schedule, plan that around it. Those are the things where you have to actually set, like, these are my actual business hours, don't bother me. Now, the second part of this that I was going to tell you about is, in addition to that, the rest of the day, right, when you're not doing the business that's on your calendar, you still need to incorporate it into your life. It needs to be a lifestyle. This part is important to me because people will say, oh yeah, I set my business hours. I wrote down what I'm going to do on my schedule. And maybe you did do that, right? But life is life. You don't know what's all going to happen. You haven't planned everything, or things aren't going to always go how you plan. So when you're going through life, you have to remember to be open to changing some things. What I mean is, if you're in a restaurant and you didn't set your business hours to share the business while you're at the restaurant, but you're there and you see an opportunity or you hear something that triggers something in you to want to say something to somebody, do it. Or if you're planning like an event, and you see a prospect or somebody who might be a prospect, feel free, like, go and talk to them. Like, what really inspired me to do this training this week was, and I'm going to put somebody on blast, but I'm not going to say their name, but I was at a birthday party and from one of my business partners, and it was his birthday. It had nothing to do with the business that we're in together, and it had nothing to do with any of his passion. But what he did was he used that as a platform to promote both of his businesses. So it wasn't part of his business hours that he set, right? It was just, oh, this is a block of time I'm going to do a birthday party. But because I am so passionate about my business, I want to show these people that are coming out to honor me for my birthday. I want to show them what is important to me. And so what he did was he incorporated his love for fashion, which is his passion, and his business, his health and wellness network marketing business, into that. He shared a little bit about it with his guests, and he set it up so that now there's an interest. They want to know more. He didn't have to do that, but he did, because he's showing that this is not just a hobby. This is a lifestyle. And these are the things that are part of my life. So what I'm saying is, be creative. When you're going through your daily routine, show the people in your life what is important to you by putting it out there. Don't hide your business, because I feel like a lot of network marketing professionals, or I'll say new ones, right? They hide their business from their warm market. Like, when you first join a business, you don't know what to do, you're scared and you're confused, and you just hide it. And I think it's because of the culture, like this industry. Sometimes, people will say bad things about it. It doesn't have a good reputation because of some stuff in the past. But like, I see that a lot with new people. They don't really even tell anybody they're even doing this business. And to me, this is like one of the best industries ever. And the thing that I'm trying to explain is that I don't think that 9 times out of 10, based on the people I've met, nobody really woke up and said, hey, I want to be a network marketer when I grow up. They didn't, right? They have dreams and goals that they want to achieve, and I want to be XYZ when I grow up, and it's usually not a network marketing professional, but then they realize as they go through life that the traditional way